as now head coach of the Tigers, Brent Vernon, steps in. Coach, one of those games, I know I've heard you say this before, there's a couple stretches during a ball game where it gets away from you, and I think that may have happened here today.
It did, and, we talked to our guys before the game. Some of the keys were guarding the basketball, which we really struggled with doing. Cumberland U does a nice job. They got good, fast, strong guards, and they attacked us, and that's just the way they play. It's not just us. They attack everybody. They lower their head, get to the rim, and we had a hard time stopping them. Another one of our keys was how mentally tough can we be? This is our 4th game in 8 days. Cumberland U hadn't played for 8 days. I knew they'd be fresh, but it's like we've always said, guys. I tell our guys, I'm not looking for us to make excuses. And for the first 32 minutes, I'm not saying we weren't competing. We were trying, but we looked tired, and we went through the motions. The last 8 minutes, we started doing things right defensively, and they only scored in reality, and I know we had to foul some late. They had 71 with like 10 minutes to go, and we did a really good job late trying to give ourselves a chance to come back. Had a great defensive possession late in the game, and they banked one in from 30, 35. That, obviously was sort of the nail in the coffin, and it sort of summed up today a little bit of our performance.
You talk about that, Coach. You actually held them. They went a stretch where they were 2 of 12 down the last 8 to 10 minutes of the ballgame. One of those 2 was a second chance putback. So really maybe 1 of 12 in terms of their half-court offense. So you really settled in and put the clamps on them.
And the second chance putback was really, you could say it wasn't really anybody's fault. We had help side defense. We all committed, and we did what we had to do. We made them miss the first one. And Zach was a little outmanned on trying to get that rebound, but he was doing everything he possibly could trying to block him out. But whenever you're 6 foot going up against 6, 7, 8, all of a sudden some genetics take over. But again, our guys have to realize the situation we're in. We have to have a sense of urgency for 40 minutes. And we've had that the previous 3 games. And I think the reason we didn't have it as much this game was because of fatigue. But again, I was a little disappointed those first 32, but again, we fought hard and tried to give ourselves a chance, but we've got to start being able to put full games together.
With some of the changes to your roster, there have been more minutes opened for certain individuals, and today, Zach Perry, somebody who took advantage of some of that. I know we've talked about it in the past, his offensive ability, and today, really good offensively, 4 of 5 from the floor, finished with 10 points, knocked down a couple threes, one late to give you an opportunity.
Zach does a good job every day bringing it to practice. I'm going to say, the only thing that really causes him trouble and really getting major minutes in the rotation is not being as big and strong as some of the guys, and it makes it a little harder for him to guard. But right now, teams, the way they're guarding us, and I don't blame them, is a lot of times we're playing 5-on-3 on the perimeter because Eric Kinney's man's hanging out in the paint, Jalen Coates' man's hanging out in the paint. And I made a decision with about 8 or 9 minutes ago to put Zach in there because I had to keep him honest. And it was really nothing Jalen did wrong. But, again, we had to keep him honest, and Zach we thought would be able to open up the floor. And there were a few guys that we thought he could chase around and be okay guarding, and he did a nice job tonight, took advantage of his situation, and I was pleased with what he brought to us.
You went to a zone a couple different times. You tried a 2-3, just something maybe to mix it up, or is this something that this team may have had problems with in the past that you guys had seen?
It was more to mix it up. I'm going to say they were just kicking our butts in the first half, and it went from, let's go to zone, maybe they'll shoot some threes. It was honestly one of those that I don't like to play zone, especially in the situation we're in, because we're just basically saying we can't guard you. And that's not what I want our teams to be about. We want to be able to be tougher defensively, and we've struggled with that obviously this year. But it helped for a little bit, and Cumberland, you did a nice job making some adjustments. We thought whenever the second half came, we would throw something else at them, and they did a good job making some shots. They went through a stretch where, guarded or not guarded, they were really making some shots. So I just went back to what we are known for, and it's man-to-man defense. And again, if we had played 32 minutes, the first 32 like the last 8, I think the outcome would have been different.
You mentioned the amount of games in a short number of days. Thankfully, you'll have a few days off to rest and recoup a little bit, but the task gets no easier next weekend. A couple of ranked teams coming to town in Cumberland and Pikeville next weekend.
Yeah, the Mid-South, obviously, you don't ever get a break. We'll take tomorrow off. We need it badly. We'll do some Monday and Tuesday, but it'll be scaled back some just because we got a lot of people beat up, banged up. Where obviously you look at our minutes, we're having a lot of guys playing a lot of minutes right now, so fatigue is definitely a worry issue. But, you know, hopefully our guys will be excited and ready for next week because it'll be a good opportunity to continue to work hard and improve. But, again, like I said, anything in this league happens. As we were walking in the locker room, we heard Shawnee beat Georgetown today.
That's
your number 8 beating number 1 in the standings right now. So there's never an easy night in the Mid-South. I'm going to say 1 through 8, anyone can win on any given night, and that includes us. I'm going to say some of our guys, I think, you know, are doubting themselves a little bit right now, but we can't do that. We just got to keep working and trying to get this thing, you know, going in the right direction. And we've made good strides. I think, again, fatigue played an issue, but we got to be able to fight through that.
And Coach, tough one here today, but we'll be back at the PAL rooting you guys on next Thursday night against Cumberland.
We appreciate it.
Cumberland University victorious here tonight over Campbellsville University. Final score 84-76.